Good morning, this is YC, and today I'm going to be making date squares, and I thought I would take you along. The first thing we want to start off with is that beat up old metal pan, and we're going to keep it ungreased. We don't need to spray it or grease it or anything like that because we're going to be using butter in this. We are going to be using a half a stick, I should say a whole stick of butter. It's a half a cup of butter. And I cut it up because we had it in the fridge and I wanted it to thaw quickly. And then we're going to use a cup of all-purpose flour. And then a cup of oats. And in this, I also have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then this will be your base for the dates. The stick of butter, the cup of oats, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a cup of flour. And we mix it all up and we press it down into the bottom of our pan. So we will do that at this time. And date squares offer a lot of health benefits too, actually, because of the dates and because of the oatmeal. And they're healthier actually than some cereal bars. And most people keep some kind of oatmeal in the house, and you can, if you don't have dates, you can use preserves or jams or jellies, and a lot of people keep that in the house. And flour. So these, I like this old-fashioned recipe because people usually have the ingredients in the house, and you may not want to run out, to go get a cereal bar or something like that, and you can just do this quickly on your own. And I'm using my clean hand because it's just quicker that way to mix it with the butter. The other thing we're going to add, and I can do it right now, it may help me mix it in to sweeten it, is 2/3 cup of brown sugar. And because brown sugar usually comes in bags, I keep it in a jar. And so I'll put 2/3 of my brown sugar in right now, and it might help me mix some of this up. And that will be what we're sweetening it with. Okay, there we go. And I will have all these ingredients in the description, and some of my subscribers already know that I do that all the time. I put it down in the description. So you can start seeing come together. It gets like chunky like that to where you could press it down in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to turn the pan around. Try to get some of this flour in here incorporated into it. I wish you could see down in the pan. I'll show it to you when I get it all pressed down into the bottom. I'm flinging little oats everywhere. But these are really, really good. My family just loves them. And you may have seen date squares before and just, didn't know how to make them or didn't know they were this simple. I know they serve stuff like this at banquets and weddings and things like that in years ago, mostly, I'll turn my pan around again. And I put my metal pan on a towel because not only does it not make as much noise that way, but you don't get the like silver marks on your can or anything like that, It's doing pretty good here. Packing really, really good. So I think I can start pressing it down into the bottom. So if you cut your stick of butter up, it doesn't really take that long. If you're like me and you always, keep it in the fridge. And one thing that can help too, what I do, and I'll try to take some of this off my hands here. One thing that I do is you can actually put some saran wrap, like wrap it around your hand, like this, like a little glove, and just press it down, because it won't stick to the oatmeal as much as your hand will. And you just keep pressing it around until you get the whole bottom covered. I am supposed to be reserve some of this though to sprinkle on top. I better check that out right now, because it's been a while since I made these. Yeah, it says to reserve a half a cup of the crumb mixture, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Just take out some of this mixture, and to keep it for the top. That's what I'll do. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Because when you're done putting this in, we're going to make the layer of dates. We're going to render them down and put that on, and then sprinkle some of the oatmeal mix on top. I always feel when I make this recipe that I never have enough made, but believe you me, you don't want it too thick, and it takes a little bit, but you can actually press it down across your pan. It just takes some patience, which I don't have an abundance of, but I try. Okay, I'm gonna turn it around. And you can, you push it. You can push it as you go. If you think one place is higher than the other, just push it. Okay. Now, I'm just trying to give you an idea what the bottom will look like. When when we have it all put together, I do bake it in the oven at 350, and it will make this base, more sturdy, and it'll make it all come together. Okay. All right, see? I'll show you. It's going to look similar to this, see, where it's all pressed in. Okay, now I've kind of wiped my hand off here. I am going to take you over to the stove so we can do rendering the dates for the date squares. So bear with me, and I'll take you along for the ride. Okay, and let's see. There's my pan right here, my saucepan, and we're going to put in these chopped dates that I got at Walmart. Now, if you go into Walmart and you're looking for these, they're at the very, very back where like the bread and crackers and cookies are. And they are at the very back wall where they keep popcorn products. That's where you'll find them. You used to be able to find them on the baking aisle, which maybe you can around, Christmas and stuff. But right now you have to get them where the dried fruit is, next to the popcorn. Okay, so you want to put in, this is an 8-ounce bag. So you're going to put this in your pan. And you also need a 3/4 cup of water. So let's see, I will go get a cup so I can do that. And so here's my water. I use bottled water. Okay. That in with the dates. Okay, and you want to put it on like a medium-low. And in here we have 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And then we want to put just a hint of lemon juice, like that, okay? And we will render the dates down. I'll let you see what it looks like in the pan. I hope I can show you. Anyway, that's what they look like down in the pan. I'm not really good at showing you that. Okay. Hopefully it will not take too long. And the other thing that you want to, if you use you can use raisins if you have that in the house. You will also want to make those into, you know, like a paste and render it down like a jam or a spread. You want it to that consistency, so that we can spread this layer across the oatmeal layer that we just made. I hope these work like the baking dates I used to get. I used to get them from the baking aisle where the flour and sugar was at Walmart in a purple box, and they came from they were grown in Pakistan. And but I have not seen those lately, and I have looked high and low for them because they were my favorite. So we are going to try these. I hope that they work the same way. I'm going to turn mine up a little bit, just simply because I am standing here watching this. So I should be able to stir it and control it. I wouldn't walk away from it though, I can tell you that. Not hot splattering fruit. And I've even used marmalade before, like when I didn't have dates or raisins in the house. You can, you know, use strawberry preserves or raspberry, whatever you have on hand. Also makes a very nice even layer across the oatmeal, like a fruit bar. It's coming up to a good temperature now, so I hope it starts to render them down. Because right now they're like little hard pieces, just like you'd see a raisin. I'm going to have to turn it down. I really got it going now. I'm not messing around, am I? it's starting to make like a paste, and it will, because remember there's 2 teaspoons of cornstarch in here. My meme, you know, French for grandmother, used to make these all the time when I was growing up, and oh my goodness, she could do a good job. Nobody can make them like she did, let me tell you. What a wonderful treat. We didn't have a holiday where she didn't have a whole bunch of these made. Now this has gotten thick. It doesn't look like they're rendering down like you'd find the baking ones, but that's okay. This is actually a nice paste, I should say, and you can see the fruit in it. I'm going to see if I can show you, which I'm not very good at doing at the stove, by the way, but I want you to be able to see it. And that's what it looks like. So I'll put you back down, and then I'm going to. Okay, and I actually have another pack in the house to make more at another time if I want to render them down even more. But I think for me to show you what I want to show you today, that this should be good enough for right now. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to bring you back to the counter. Okay, so here we go. We're back, and I'm going to put this on top of that oatmeal layer. Okay, let's see here. Try to get the fruit out of this whisk. Okay. I could bang it all day probably. Okay, now we're just going to take a spatula and spread it out across the oatmeal. And you know, you're always going to think, like, as I always think this, oh my gosh, you know, it's not enough to fill this 9 by 13. Just work with it, spread it across, and you're going to think, oh, it's too thin. No, it's not. If you ever open up a fruit bar or a granola bar or anything like that, you see they're not real thick, and so you're wanting to get along those lines. You know, you can see it spreading in there. See, and I'll turn it around. I'll finish spreading it. And then that half a cup that we reserved with more of that oatmeal flour we mixed that we had put in the bottom, we will sprinkle on top. It doesn't have to completely cover the top. You just sprinkle it on. I'm almost done. It takes a little bit for it to get across it. You just kind of have to work with it. And I mean, if you wanted them thicker, you could do them thicker, but it might take longer for them to come together and stay together. And I don't know what it would do. You know, I've always just used these measurements or this amount. Okay. There, this is good. Just like if you use preserves or jams or jellies as a layer, you don't want it really thick. I mean, that would be gross. Who wants something that with that thickness of sweetness, right? But anyway, this is what it looks like. See, when you spread it out, and some of the dates got more in some areas than others, but it's, you can see it spread across it. Okay, and then you just take that crumbly and just crumble it over it of the mixture from the bottom that we reserved. And I'm gonna put this in a 350-degree oven when I'm done doing this, when I'm done sprinkling this. And it's gonna go in there for 30 minutes. And you take it out and cool it and cut it in squares. And then it's done. Really easy, not the easiest thing to show you know, someone on camera, but it is very, very easy to make. And like I said, most people have these ingredients in their house, so it makes it very convenient. Okay. There. And the topping is meant to just go on sporadically, and you can, if you're a person who likes a lot of topping, you know, make more, but you don't need a lot, but just do it to your taste, you know. But see, you can see what I mean. It's just sporadically put on top, and after I bake it and cut it in squares, we'll be able to enjoy it. So I hope that you enjoyed making date squares with me, and I hope you give it a try. Have a great day.